thrilled to have Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff with us here. Dr. Shroff is a renowned author, entrepreneur, blogger, podcaster, and life coach. She is the MD and CEO of Calorix Group, which runs 60 plus institutions across the country. A Rajkumari from the Surangi royal family of Odisha, she has influenced the lives of more than 88,000 students over the past 3 decades across 60 plus institutions. She is also a United Nations speaker. Further, Dr. Shroff believes in working towards the mental, physical, and spiritual well being of people through her exclusive work called Shroffism, and her website is www.shroffism.com. We welcome you, ma'am. We welcome you on the stage. And Ragini ji and Dr. Shroff have together authored this book, Safety in Steps, a very relevant title in today's digital age. Ladies and gentlemen, the book Safety in Steps gives readers invaluable advice for dealing with the many challenges of teenagers. It offers clear, empathetic insights on tough topics like social media addictions, cyberbullying, harassment, and relationship, among other taboo topics. So we have video. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Before going ahead with the unveiling, let's see a video. I request our technical team to play the video.
Welcome you to a partnership with parents to achieve the NEP's goals of mental health and emotional resilience in students. Last year, we brought to you Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff's #1 bestseller book on parenting, Baby Steps to Big Dreams, that was launched in over multiple cities in India and abroad. Let's take a quick glance at the book tour. As we toured multiple cities and met influencers such as you to take forward the NEP's objectives of improved mental and emotional health in students, during our discussions with educators, directors, administration, and management, the question invariably popped up if we should address these issues by directly talking to teenagers and senior secondary students, since they are so much more at risk. Working on this thread of thought, Calorix is proud to present the sequel to Baby Steps, Safe Teen Steps, Making Young Adults Cyber Secure. Safe Teen Steps is dedicated to A. The brave hearts of parents in the shadow of grief and pain for losing loved ones to the dangers of the online world. B. To all teenage girls who have faced the daunting challenges of cyber threats, you are not alone. C. The online world is not safe for boys. This book is also a salute to the courageous teenage boys who confront the silent struggles of harassment compounded by hiding their emotions. We applaud you. Many of you are already familiar with Calrex's development of India's first teacher mentor influencer, Maya.
For online parenting counseling, CalRX brings to you Sitting by Maya, Parenting Conversations, adapted from the #1 best-selling book, Baby Steps to Big Dreams, and its sequel, Safe Teen Steps. Sitting by Maya is a 3-step process. To get your online parenting solution, step 1, go to sbn.manjulapoojashroff.com. Step 2, easy registration with your existing emails. Step 3, select the appropriate age, topic, and FAQ from the drop down and get the parenting solution. Why wait? Register now and discover the benefits of Sitting by Maya for your parenting journey.
At Calrex, it's our endeavor to teach beyond text. We bring to you total modern day parenting solutions of baby steps and the sequel Safe Teen Steps and the online solutions Sitting by Maya. Please join us in our journey to create resilient and empathetic students who will be better prepared to thrive in the VUCA world where human race and the AI is poised to mingle. Thank you.
Moving onward, now we have book unveiling ceremony, book launching ceremony. So to do the honor, I would like to invite Mr. Anantha Krishnan, CEO Operation at Calorex Group, Sri Rasmi Ranjan Parida, founder and co-convener at KLF, Sri Ashok Kumar Bolji, Mr. Uday Prakashji, Ms. Rohini Rana ji, Ms. Prachi Naik ji, Mr. Prem Aryan ji. I would like to invite all these dignitaries at the stage for unveiling the book, Safe Teen Steps, authored by Ms. Ragini. Please join me at the book launching ceremony with a warm round of applause. Thank you so much. I request all the dignitaries to take their respective seats. Thank you so much for your presence. And now, I request Dr. Manjula, Pooja Shroff, and Mr. Anantha Krishnan for a fireside chat on total parenting solution and safe teen steps. Mr. Anant, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Mic test.
Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Mic check. Can you guys hear me? On है.
Check, check, check.
Check. Yeah. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. I'm Anantha Krishnan from Calorex, and it's my pleasure being here at the Kalinga Literary Festival. This is the launch of yet another tool for modern day parenting. We're calling it the Total Parenting Solutions. Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff, we all know about her. She needs no introduction. Is from hails from Odisha and has made Ahmedabad her Karam Bhumi. Basically, author or entrepreneur, blogger, podcaster, life coach. And her previous book, her maiden book, which was Baby Steps to Big Dreams, was ranked #1 from the first month of its launch itself. And thereafter, it had the prestige of being read out at the UN COP Summit, which UN has never seen a book event before. It's the first book to have got the honors. The latest release in the whole series of Total Parenting Solution is this path-breaking book called called Safety in Steps, which was just about launched here. This book basically is being written by two authors, Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff along with Ragini Bhardwaj. Ragini Bhardwaj is a very senior journalist from Times of India Student Edition. Without taking much of a time, let's straight away go into what is Total Parenting Solutions all about and what is this book all about. Dr. Shroff, last year you gave to the parenting fraternity and to the education fraternity a book called Baby Steps to Big Dreams. And with that, you also attended 3 sessions in the United Nations. And it is this book happened to become the bestseller in about a month's time from the time of launch. Then 3 sessions, and then this book, Safety in Steps. What keeps you going?
Om Ganpataya Namaha. Aaj Ganesh Chaturthi hai. And of course, Kailashpati. This is the land of Shiva. Anybody who is a Shiva Bhakt anywhere in the world reveres Nepal. Because ये शिव जी का घर है. So पशुपतिनाथ के नाम से मैं शुरू करती हूँ. I'm an educationist. मैं बच्चों के साथ काम करती हूँ. I'm so glad to see so many students sitting there. Because you know what? You are my audience. The next generation is my audience. It is the next generation that I'm going to prepare for the future. A future that we called a VUCA world, which means, anybody familiar with what is VUCA? V for volatile, U for uncertain, C for complex, and A for ambiguous, which means you cannot predict the world, but you're going to grow into that world. You're going to compete in that world. You're going to perform in that world. It is also a world today that is going to be AI based. You know that. Elon Musk has made a declaration that by the year 2040, 1% of human beings will be humanoids, which means that you will be competing with artificial intelligence. You will be competing for your existence, your profession, and your salaries with robots. How prepared are you? What is it we do in classrooms to prepare you for this world? Nothing. So as an educationist, I realized that we only teach mostly subjects for academic excellence. And which is where I started to look at a larger arena, saying how can we better prepare our youth for the future? And that's where Baby Steps to Big Dreams came in. Because we cannot prepare the youth without partnering with parents. पेरेंट्स के बहुत बड़े हाथ होते हैं in upbringing of children. Even today, even as you go to college, even as you get your first salary, your first thought is, have I made my father happy? Is he proud of me? There is nothing more than parental approval in the whole world. You may be a very successful person, but if your parents don't think you're successful, then you don't have confidence. That's where parenting book was written, and I'm so glad that it became a bestseller. I'm very grateful that I wrote it. But I think the time had come. The time had come that we had to talk parenting in the world of AI, which is why it just went on to become very successful.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. The time had come, but there must have been an inspiration towards the writing, right? So time comes, time goes, but you have to catch it at the right time. What was the inspiration behind putting it at the right time, at the right place, the right ingredient, the right kind of parenting concepts, and taking it to the right audience, which are the parents themselves? The book has actually reached over 15,000 parents, 8,000 plus educators. It has been presented to the different state government dignitaries also, and it's been really, really appreciated very, very well. Of course, the bestseller, this thing is always, stamp is always there, but then a book's success comes from the fact that the reader has to enjoy it and learn from it, which has happened in this case. So what was the inspiration behind this book?
See, I'm a management student. I've studied in management, the finest school of management in India, which is Ahmedabad, IMA. We've always been taught to project. We've always been taught to analyze. We've always been taught to look at the future. And there are so many discussions that was going on earlier saying we can't live in the past. We have to project a future. And as an educationist, every time that I was looking at a future, I used to look at, all of you are aware of what happens in Kota, Rajasthan? You know that, right? The finest students of India go to Kota, Rajasthan to become IIT aspirants. So almost 12 lakh students go to Kota from Delhi, Bombay, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Coimbatore, Chennai, everywhere of India. And you know that Indian students are very good. You know that Indian brains are behind Silicon Valley and technology. You know this. So our best students go to Kota. And in Kota, the success rate for IIT is hardly 9%. So the rest of our best students become non-performers or failures. Do you see what happened? Our best students started to become average. And as an educator, when I used to watch our own schools, like we said, we have 60 odd schools, lakhs of students studying. When we've seen our own students go and become failures, I used to ask myself, what is going on? Something is wrong here. Why are parents not understanding that not everybody can crack IIT? And there's a huge world. Today, for careers, there are so many opportunities. Hundreds of career opportunities. Then why are parents not understanding? Sometimes students cannot take a decision in school. I have seen mothers not being able to take a decision because it's a family decision or the father's decision. And that's really where, and you're also familiar, right? Every year, about 30, 40, 50 students, intelligent students, used to commit suicide in Kota. You're aware of these statistics. And that's where it became imperative that we involve parents. It became imperative that parents need to know that they cannot thrust the dreams on students. Because every child is unique. Because every student has their own destiny. And since this is a land of spirituality, everybody has come to earth with a purpose. Everybody's purpose is unique. We cannot, even if you're a parent, I sometimes joke and say you're only the GPS address of that soul. The soul had to land on earth. It had to come somewhere. So it chose your house. So you're the GPS address. You cannot possess that soul. You cannot own that soul.
Fantastic. What is very inspiring, ma'am, is writing across different platforms, parenting, teens. It's very, very inspirational. At the same point in time, the way you have brought it out, right? In fact, this book, ladies and gentlemen, Safety in Steps, is a part of a comprehensive solution called as a Total Parenting Solution. Total Parenting Solution, as ma'am has just brought out, has three parts to it. One, the previous book, which is the Baby Steps to Big Dreams, the number one bestseller for parenting. Then this book, which is basically about safety of adults and young adults and teenagers in the internet world. And third is a generative AI tool or portal called Sitting by Maya. Now, Sitting by Maya is nothing but her own clone and avatar AI version, which answers to the pertinent questions of parents and students on different topics which are hard to understand and hard to implement. Right today, if you there are chances, how many of us here are, many of us are parents who are having children of teenagers, right, at the age of teenagers. How comfortable are you talking to your teenager? You could ask them something, they'll answer something. I'm sorry, teenagers, right? That's how it is today, today's world, right? You also have your own issues talking to your parents, the generation gap, as you may call it, right? Somebody has to answer the questions. You may have hundreds of questions. You may have to ask to somebody. So Sitting by Maya is there to help you out with your questions, both for the parents and for the students. So, ma'am, I take forward the discussion to the next set of questions, ma'am. Uh, you have covered a lot of hard-hitting topics, the taboo topics in this book. Topics like catfishing, right, grooming issues, sextortions, sexting, scarlet letter. So many words which I've probably never even heard of. So, what are these, and how is it covered in this book, and what do they relate to? Can you kindly explain?
So one of the things we saw is we can't tell children that you should not spend time on the internet. The data is that they spend about 6-7 hours on the phone. We can't tell them that you can't do that. We have to teach them how to be safe. I want to give you some statistics to tell you what is happening in the real world. We as adults really do not know this. About 48% of preteens is before age 12, are on the internet already. 66% of people, teenagers, who are talking with strangers, meet them offline. Catfishing as a term means that a predator, a person who wants to harm you, will make a fake identity and start to talk to you, start to take your information, sometimes start to blackmail you, force you to meet, ask you to give personal information, sometimes ask you to give compromising photos and images. You all know what I'm talking about. Every girl in this room knows what I'm talking about. Every boy knows. This goes on. What is blackmailing? Blackmailing happens when a friend becomes an enemy. A friend has access to your personal information, some compromising data, and threatens to take it viral or to report it. That's blackmailing. Grooming is when somebody knows about you, is completely fake. They will never come online. They will never show their face. They will chat with you every day. You will start becoming dependent on them. They're much older than you. They understand. They will become empathetic towards you. What you can't tell your parents, you'll start confiding in them. But grooming is happening. What is even more shocking is this word called sextortion, from extortion. When from catfishing and grooming, if an adult has some sensitive information from you, that's when they will start to do sextortion. They will say, meet me or I will complain, or etc., etc., etc. There is another alarming thing, which is that most of the girls think that it's okay. because we can't talk to our parents. If you're chatting online, it's okay. It's not okay. If you don't know somebody, you cannot confide in them. But because the virtual world, you're living in it in 7 hours, you forget the boundaries between the virtual world and the real world. And this book actually has how to stay safe. This term sexting, everybody knows? Raise your hands, come on. Sexting, who knows this word, sexting? Texting with innuendos of sex, explicit or implicit. Double meanings. Everything is going on. We as adults don't know, don't want to face it, that's all. What is the real scary thing, let me tell you. Predators start attacking children before they are 10 years old. This is data. This is real data that we've covered in the book. Before they are 10 years old. There are sites. So pornography is for adults, right? With children, there's no word called pornography. There's a word called CSAM. Children sexually abusive material. This is such a big industry, I cannot even tell you how unsafe our children are online. And we can't talk about it, right? That's the worst part. This book is to tell parents and educators and counselors of the schools that if you do not create an environment where your children will talk to you, they will always have risky behavior. We have to create that environment. We have to create that safety net that they will come and tell us, and that we will hear and help them, not judge them, not isolate them, not stigmatize them. The word scarlet letter is this. Scarlet Letter is actually a movie. Scarlet Letter is a movie where in previous times, adultery, extramarital affairs was a sin, was a crime. So this lady performs or gets into an extramarital affair. So in order to stigmatize her, they make her wear a letter, A, and roam about the whole society. Today, you know what's going on online. We can easily be scandalized. Reputation can easily be harmed. This book is to help you navigate in a manner to keep you safe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Going ahead, one more type of topic. You talked about sexting, right? Safe sexting rule book, which says a rule book. Are you saying sexting is okay?
Am I saying sexting is okay? I'm an educator. I dare not say that. But my saying or not saying doesn't matter. It's happening. We've got to accept it. Therefore, can we have codes of conduct? Can we have agreements with our students and children? Can we show them what to do, what not to do? Can we tell them how far is okay? Can we teach them boundaries? Boundaries can be of many kinds. Emotional boundaries, physical boundaries, sexual boundaries, verbal boundaries, monetary boundaries. When a predator comes to attack you, they will break each of these boundaries. Because that's how they'll gain your confidence. We have to teach boundaries. And unfortunately, in the online world, cyber sex is very common. When cyber sex is very common, gone are the days you wait for marriage for sex and physical sex and all that is gone. But when you have Cyber sex is very common. It creates a normalization in the mind of the person that sex is common. Of course not, it's not. In the physical world, you know, when you live in an online world, it gives you a sense of false confidence, false bravado. You can say and do anything. In the real world, you can't do that. But the lines are getting blurred. And all of these things are becoming normal, which are so wrong, which are so harmful to society. They're just getting normal. And it's our roles as educators and parents to actually talk and draw the line, teach the boundary.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, a great book which gives readers invaluable inputs, advice on dealing with challenges like, uh, identity crisis, gaming, online relationship, of course, cybersex we spoke about, online fraud, and many more, right? So be safe in the online world. This book is for you. Ma'am, I take you to the next set of questions. What is digital addiction? We have digital addiction today is not only restricted to young adults and teenagers, it is there across the, this thing. So even adults have a problem of digital addiction in the form of reels and other stuff. What exactly is digital addiction? And even more, is it even more alarming than substance abuse?
So, research shows that digital addiction is essentially how much time you spend on the digital device. Is so alarming that evolution has happened. There's something that we call a tech neck. So the next generation will actually be like this. Kyunki hamesha they're looking at the devices. So there's a thing called tech neck. Apart from that, there are terms, elbow, tennis elbows, wrist. Younger children are getting cervical issues because the bones are not formally, they're not even completely formed before they're getting deformed. Because they're always staring at something. One, two, the radiation that comes from the screen. If a child is age 3 and is constantly looking at the screen, the radiation that comes from the screen actually interferes with the neurological brain development. So biologically also children are suffering, right? The third thing, there's a term called popcorn brain, which means that you're so used to reels and surfing like that your brain capacity is shrinking. You can't spend more than 7 seconds on any topic. It is leading to learning disorders in schools. So there are a lot of downsides, right, of the digital addiction. But coming to his question of why is it more harmful than substance abuse is basically drugs. That's all another topic altogether. Drugs are so prevalent everywhere. Every child has tried drugs. Every child smokes. We believe it's not happening, but every child is smoking. Every child is doing drugs. So, with substance abuse or with drug addiction, when it becomes very, very severe, people have to go to a de-drugging camp, which means we'll put you physically in a place where you will not have access to tobacco or drugs. Because we have to wash out, we have to detox. But digital addiction is far more severe because we can't remove you from that environment. You have to live in the environment of digital addiction and still cure yourself. And that's why it's so challenging. With drug abuse, you'll be physically removed from that environment. That temptation will not be there. But with digital addiction, the temptation will always be there. And still you have to cure. So it's actually very, very difficult.
Oh, very, 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 I should say, informative. So, I mean, I think we should use this information to our daily lives. Very, very nice that we can, upgrade ourselves with this information and be safe in the online world. One last question, ma'am. There's a lot of excitement being generated about sitting by Maya, right? Which is your AI avatar and clone, generative AI stuff, a portal. But could you kindly explain us a bit more about sitting by Maya?
आजकल बुक्स तो पढ़ते नहीं हैं हम भले लिखें, पढ़ता कौन है? कोई नहीं पढ़ता है. I'm sitting here in a literary festival saying the truth. कि किताबें सिर्फ लेके लोग because the friends have written it library में रख देते हैं. Very small population reads. I was at a seminar in Delhi about 2 days ago, and the National Book Trust director was talking about how we have to generate interest in youngsters to read. Because character building, deep layered thinking will only come from reading. And due to digital reading, it's even far, the attention span is shrinking. Therefore, although we have two books, which is Baby Steps and Safe Teens, we created an online solution called Sitting by Maya. You saw that, right? It's very easy. It's 3 steps. Go to the website, sign in, ask a question, she'll answer. It's like a Parentpedia or a chat GPT for parenting. And all kinds of questions are there. I mean, soft topics, hard topics, tough topics, everything. So everywhere we went, that became very, very interesting because it's a digital life, it's a digital world. So digital solutions are far more accepted.
Has been kind enough to carry a few copies of both the books, the parenting book and Safe Teens. And I think it's all for you to take home today. It's a complimentary copy, right, for the people here at the Kalinga Literary Festival. That suitcase is full of those books, if I'm not mistaken, Umang, correct? Yeah, yeah. So that he has carried it from India. So please come forward after the session gets over, take the books, get signed from her in case you want to. Go back home and read it. In case your school wants to have these books in the library, there is an email ID. You can scan this paper, which is there across all the tables. You can scan this paper. You'll have a form. You can fill up the form. We'll send the books to your schools also. Now, for these senior delegates present here, uh, you are basically writers, right? Writers are influencers. You influence thousands and millions of not only youngsters, but also adults, right? Likewise. And all of you here are known writers. So when you write something, people get to learn more, people get to know more, right? So kindly join us in this particular thing of taking this particular book to as many people as we can so that children of today's generation and the next generation can stay safe in the online world, right? We have a job in hand to do. Please join us in this mission. We have taken it up as a mission. Thank you very much, Dr. Shroff, for writing such a wonderful book. And we look forward for such beautiful sessions, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have token of love. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, for this enlightening perspective on parenting. I look forward to read the book and congratulations on the book. So we have token of love for both of our speakers. I would like to invite Mr. Ashok Balji at the stage to provide token of love to our speakers. Thank you, sir. Okay, we are now, I'm sure everyone is ready to fuel up. Now we have lunch break. And after this, okay. So we have two sessions going on simultaneously at hall number 3 and Himalaya Garden. You can join the session there. And for now, we have, after the lunch, we have another session. Let's meet after the lunch. Thank you.